Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the week 9, the live interactive session of the Joy of Computing using Python. I'm Vikas, a PhD scholar in IDRP Space Science and Technology at IIT Jodhpur. This is something about me, and this is the Google Classroom code where you can find all the materials and you can join and discuss if you need. Our schedule is Tuesday 6 to 8 p.m. This is the Meet link we use to connect, and all the recording of these classes are available on the YouTube channel mentioned here. So before diving into questions and problems, if anyone have some doubt regarding the topics taught in this week, you can ask or we can move further. And
So one
please,
question,
yes,
not,
yes, sir.
not regarding doubt, uh,
Mhm.
but just one question. Your this link is shared up to week 8 only. When it will be updated up to 11th or 10th week?
Okay, mine one. This is something whenever we are having classes, like today is week 9 class, right? So
Okay.
once week 9 is over, then I can upload. Like this is the recording of live sessions. So 12th will be going on like this only. So 9, 10, 11, 12. So three
Okay.
more weeks.
Okay. This is ninth only because
Yeah, this is nine.
actually it is a running 12th week is running according to the
Yes,
sessions. So
yes,
I thought like that. Oh,
yes.
but it was my mistake. Okay.
No, not a mistake. The thing is that mostly we are supposed to cover the things once this assignment deadlines are over. Okay, so we are going by assignment deadlines, and that video lectures are available in advance. That is why there is slight
Oh,
mismatch.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone else have some questions or doubts? You are free to ask.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sakshay. Okay, so I think no doubt. So let's move forward and let's come to problem one. How can we identify which book is written by which author? Okay, and we are talking about present day books, not the handwritten ones. Okay, and one more thing, you can unmute and speak up. That is allowed. But I cannot read the messages during the class, so avoid sending messages. You can unmute and reply, and please reply because this is interactive session. Okay, so there are four options. One is by matching handwriting. Okay, the second one is by analyzing word length with previous books, by analyzing the number of pages in a book, by analyzing the book's preface. So, which of the following methods can be used to identify book by author? And remember, we are talking about programs, like how a computer program can do that.
Option B.
B. Okay, by analyzing word length with previous books.
I will say,
Uh,
sir, option D, preface.
D. Okay, preface. Be ready with the explanation of that also. Okay. So, why option B or why D?
Option B is think right because it analysis we are doing analysis
Yes.
and word length is the characteristic of that particular author.
Yes.
So from that we can judge.
Mhm.
That is the criteria behind it. I think so.
Okay. And structure, why you think it's D?
Sir, actually, the style of a person's writing portrays the author's explanation, the author's expression. So, sir, a preface is always written in means different authors start their writings in different ways. So sir, in a preface actually we get to know about the author, we get to know about the style of writing, what he has covered, what he has exposed. So in the preface only we can understand that which book is written by which author. Because I personally feel that because different kinds of books can have different word lengths. For example, a cooking book is going to be short, whereas a book of novel is going to be long. If both things are written by the same author, then they may be different, means of different lengths. So this is
Okay.
my point of view, sir. You are there to judge now.
Okay. Anyone else with any other answer? Anyone who thinks, or anyone who wants to add upon these things? Okay. So certainly by matching handwriting, that is not possible, and especially for a computer program, right? By analyzing word length, this is something that is possible because generally it is seen that word and sentence lengths are somewhat uh, in the what you say, somewhat relatable. Like if I write, I will use certain kind of uh, certain length of words very frequently. Okay, but certainly it will have some disadvantages and it will not always give us the result. And remember, we are not talking from the point of view of human. We are talking from the point of view of a computer program. Okay. Third is by analyzing number of pages in a book. So certainly, person can write something very thick, thin, different, like according to the situation. And by analyzing books preface, this is something that is true when done by a human. Okay, like our way of analyzing is different than a program. Program goes by numbers. Okay, by numbers or occurrence. We can say one way can also be to check out the common words. Like there are some common words that are very particularly used by the author, but that is not in our option here. Okay, so and the filling of the uh, preface, that can more be understood by a human, but not necessarily by a computer program. So I would go by this B. Any one, or like any other opinions? Like this is something very subjective, okay, and certainly there can be multiple answers. So anyone else?
Sir, option E is missing, sir. Option E would be vocabulary. So, sir, you have not given that. So,
Yes, and that is something quite difficult because generally the whole book has to be analyzed and a dictionary of that has to be created, and that also then we have to check in percentage or these things, because if the number of pages differs, the number of occurrences will also increase and decrease according to that. Okay, so we can go with option B for now. Agreed? Okay, so let's come to problem 2. Okay, this is something we have covered earlier also. What is the correct way to convert a list into a tuple? A list that is already existing and that is named as L, and we have to convert it into a tuple. So what will be the correct way?
first option, sir.
First option. Okay. Any other option? Yes,
First
Nehal,
one.
you are trying to say something.
Option A.
Option A. Great. Anyone with any different answer? Okay. So option A. Let's try. Okay. I think. Yeah. So what I have done here is that, is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
What I have done is that I have created a list L containing 1, 2, 5, 7 to 1. Okay. So, and then what I am doing is that print L, printing dash and type L. So can anyone recall what is this function doing? Type. What is the use of this function?
It returns the data type of the argument.
Yes,
Yes.
data type of the argument. And then I have used this L equals to tuple L and print L dash and the type of L. Let's run this and see this. So in first case, it is printing class as list, and the second it is printing as tuple. Okay. And one thing is that uh, we have uh, discussed, like there is one data type in which we cannot have reoccurrences. Okay. But here you see in case of tuple 1 and 2, these are numbers which are being repeated and it is allowed in case of tuple. Okay. So don't get confused with other any other type of data. Whereas, if suppose we were converting, let's converting it into a set. We have learnt about set. Anyone?
Yes.
Yes. So
Limited.
limited. We have learned. Okay. So let's print S and then C. In this case, what happens is that if there are reoccurrences, it will remove. It will have single. And this is actually quite useful if we have to remove duplicates. But the problem is the same sequence will not be maintained. Certainly, like since some removals will occur, the same sequence as the original list will not be there. Okay. We can even,
So if there are no repetitions, will the same sequence be followed?
yes, no, that is not necessary. Like for now, for the first argument, generally you will see that the same sequence is followed, but it is not necessary to be true. Okay. So we cannot confirm that yes, it will be followed. But in general, you will see that actually the same occurrence will occur. Same occurrence will be there. Same occurrence, I'm saying, same sequence will be there. Okay. Let's try that. We will have good idea then. Equals to list 3. Okay. Now you see, in this case, it is mostly arranged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not the same sequence like we entered. We entered 3, 4, 2, 1, 5. But it in this case, it is getting sorted on its own. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Can you please re-explain, sir? Means how did that set become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 automatically?
That is like set can be in any sequence. It may even be different, but generally it is sorted. As well as if it is a list of something like small words or something, it may maintain the same sequence that was earlier. And even if you append at the end, it will append and it will remain there, but not necessarily in the same order that you keep. That is why we always say that in case of set and dictionary, numbered indexes are not relevant. Keys are relevant. Like in case of set, you can find out like whether 2 is there, 1 is there or not. But you cannot mention S and then square bracket 0. That is not going to give you something relevant because the position may change. Position is not relevant. Okay.
Yes, sir. That means, sir, means in data types like sets and dictionaries means we don't have any fixed memory location.
Yes, not memory location. Certainly, we will, the memory location, if you go to hardware, that will be fixed. But we don't have, you can say we don't have a fixed sequence. That is not going
Okay,
to
so
be
that means
sequentially.
it's going to be changing with passage of time. Means now it's
Yeah,
something else. After 30 minutes, it will be something else.
not after time, after some operations, you can say.
After operations, like that.
After some operations, after some changes, it can have different position, and you need not see it in the same position. Okay,
Yes, sir, I
so
got it.
this is the way we can do tuple L. Okay, to convert, to initialize, we can have directly the numbers, and in simple bracket, that will be a tuple. Okay, now let's come to problem 3. Will the following piece of code always return true? Import network X as NX. Can anyone recall what is network X? Anyone?
It's a package for building networks.
This for building networks. Package, or in our term, we generally call it as library. Library package, you can say, that is fine. Library or package, right? Very good. For building networks. And what kind of networks when we mean this? Remember, in
Internet, sir?
uh, not exactly, but
World Wide Web.
in some previous classes, in one of the class, we were discussing about something called node and interconnection. Like, in fact, the complexity, when we were discussing, I was saying that how many connections are there, how many ways or paths are there. These can easily be represented using networks, and networks have actually a lot of uses, especially when we are talking about algorithms, like how to how to proceed for a problem solving. Okay, so either a network can be implemented in a code, and an optimize. Generally, there are a lot of network optimization and these techniques are not necessarily covered in the scope of this course, but uh, there are two ways. Either you can have a have a network of the code you are trying to make, and then simplify it and then implement it as a code, and that will lead to less complex problems, like less complex codes. Or you can have complex code and you can keep seeing its network equivalent, and then you will get an idea that what is happening there. Okay, and especially in case of circuits and graphs, graphs in the sense data models, we use this a lot, so let's not go that deep. Okay, so it is saying import network X as NX, G equals to NX dot GNP random graph. Okay, and then it has two numbers, 10 and 0.5. Okay, and this is something that has been covered in this week. Okay, so what is this doing? Anyone? Yes, anyone can try. Is it getting something complex, or wait,
Create a random graph with 10 nodes.
10 nodes? Very good. So the first value will correspond to nodes. Okay, and what is this 0.5 doing? Yeah, Mira Haris, as I have already mentioned, please unmute yourself and speak. I am not able to see messages. Okay.
She
Point
wrote
five,
all there.
point five
Not getting.
between the length of the distance between the nodes, connecting line.
It is read to be probability, but didn't understand what exactly how it works and what is that.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? What you think? What is there? This is something that will actually clear what will be the correct answer. Okay, and I will tell you. Let's first go. Otherwise, that will be the answer itself. And then is print nx dot is connected G. Okay, so what does this correspond to? This is something that all the nodes are connected. Okay, so let's try it on our code. Okay, and then we will see. Okay, okay. So for now, I am commenting this is connected thing. Okay. And now you see this is a graph where we have 10 connection 10 dots or nodes 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and since we are generating it randomly, if we generate it the next time, it may give us a different net. Okay, now uh, you see the connections here. If you see closely how these connections are working, can anyone deduce what is happening? Like how many connections are from each?
Each node has 9 connections to the remaining 9 nodes.
To the remaining 9 nodes. Okay, why? Because here what I have done is that instead of 0.5, I am putting 1 here. Okay, let's put 0.5 like in our question. Okay, and now let's run it. Okay, now we have a graph with 10 nodes, and how many connections in each case? Okay, I think this is not very
4,
clear,
sir.
so 4.
4, sir.
Okay, and now
Now it's 2, sir.
3
from each
also.
3 also, but maximum connections we are getting is somewhat around 4. Like we say that almost half of the connections are complete. Okay, this corresponds to 0.5. 0.5 is like half of them are connected with each other. Like 0.5 is we will see later on also, these connections are occurring. Okay, as we increase or decrease, this number of connections will differ. Nodes, like first one corresponds to, in the bracket when we are putting 10, that corresponds to number of nodes. Like if we reduce it to something 6, and let's run this. So here you see, in all the cases, mostly we are having three or two connections. So if we calculate the number of connections and take an average, you will see that on an average, each of them is connected to half. That is, uh, half of 6 will be 3. So each is at least connected to 2 also. Like at least connected 2 or 3 are connected. Like if you, for the first one, how many connections are there? If we go from the top, like from here, if we are going, how many connections are there in this? Can anyone tell?
2.
2. Okay. Then how many here?
3.
4.
4. Okay. And how many for this case?
3.
Okay, so 6. We had 6 total 6 earlier. Now 3. So we have 9. Then this one, how many?
3.
3. So 12 and this one 2. So that is 15 and this one 4. So 16 plus 4 that is 16 plus 4 how
7.
much it will be? But here we are actually repeating some edges, like we are counting some edges uh, multiple times also. Okay, so there will be some difference. So in total, we if we divide it by 6, if we go for single edges and divide it by 6, we will find it always less than half. In fact, we can directly count the number of edges: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 9 divided by 6, that is half will be even less than half, right?
1.5, sir.
1.5, sorry, I'm telling the opposite way. Yeah, the connections, so we have to average it, no? Like total divided by 6. Huh. Uh, we will have to get for multiples and then divide it by 6. So we were getting something 20 or 21, right? 20, let's take by 6. So it comes 6 divided by 20. Yeah. So number of per this one, the connections are around 3. If you divide it, divide 20 by 6, how many connections are occurring? So in total, half of them, like
3.3 recurring.
3.3. So 20 or whatever that is, I think 18 or 20, something around it. So you will see that half of this, like every node is connected to, in general, 3 on an average. 3, it should connect. Sometimes you will see that actually 4 are connected. In some cases, 2 are also connected. If we randomly generate, again, something like that will occur. Okay. So these are number of connections and is connected. That means every one of them is connected. That shows is connected. Okay. So will this show us true or false? Anyone? Let's run this. And it is showing us true because all of them are connected in this case. Okay. Like all of them have some connections. But you see, in this case also true. Let me reduce it, then we will get another. Actually, in some cases, we will even find false. So it will not always be true. Let me reduce it because in that case, the probability, as someone was saying, that this is more like a probability. So if we reduce the probability, yeah. In this case, you see, some of them are not even connected, right? Some can even be not connected. So half connections, it is fine. But in that case also, there can be some occurrence that it is not connected. So if we either, let's put it like 20, and then you will find uh, false also. This is true, true, true. Okay, almost every time some connections are occurring. Let's put T1 in this or 11. Here it's such, like here in this case, you see that one of node is at the periphery and it is connected only with one edge. Okay, so such occurrence can also occur where we will not be getting, it's, none of them is coming false since we are going for random, right? So let's reduce the number of points. Yes, in this case, you see, in case of half, one of them is not connected also, and this can be false. So what was our question? Will always return true. So is it true or false?
False.
False. Since we can even get false. In what case we will always get true? What will be
If
the key?
0.05 is replaced by 1.
One, yes. So one means all the nodes are compulsorily connected to every node because it every node will have number of edges equal to one less than the total number of edges. So if we see here, if we see in this case, if we replace it by 1, we will see that actually since 6 is there, so every node should have ideally 5 connections. So here you will see that every node have 5 edges, at least 5 in all the cases, and certainly in this case all will be connected for certain. There is no way anyone can be left. Okay, clear? So let's, so our answer will
So I
be
have one
false.
doubt.
Yes, yes.
When I simulate the same in my PC, I am getting one partially initialized module. Network X has no attribute.
uh, can you check it's the same? Are you
Yes,
trying to plot it also?
yeah, I am trying to plot it also. The
And
example what
then,
you have given before that,
okay,
uh, the plot
this one,
example, the same thing I
yeah.
have done it.
So are you using this matplotlib.pyplot?
Yes. Import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT
Okay,
and g equal to nx dot gnp underscore random underscore graph 20 comma
okay,
1
okay,
nx dot draw in
yeah,
brackets g plot
okay.
dot show.
It should be PLT, not plot.
Yeah, sorry, plt dot show. Correct.
Okay,
That's
and
what I
then
have given.
simple. Okay, let me stop sharing for some time, and if you can share your screen, we can resolve this.
Sure. 1 minute. Share. Yes. This one. Are you, are you able to see, sir?
Yes, yes, I'm able to see. Okay, import um, network access annex dot g. And if you run this, what is happening?
Just I'm running. I'm getting this error.
It is saying partially in this slide module. Okay, import as annex. Okay. Can you try it on some other, this is on a spider, right?
Yes, spider.
Mm, network. If you just put network, I forgot, I think there is some
Network.
module. Yeah,
What shall I keep, sir?
network, just put network instead of network
Network.
X.
Okay. No module named network.
No, network X. is the one module, but mm, and next and
In
okay,
fact,
in line which line it is showing error?
in
Okay, in line
20,
8
like,
itself. Yeah, in line 8 itself, it is showing
no, no,
import.
earlier I didn't keep
Yeah,
X
yeah, yeah,
at the
yeah.
time.
Now run it.
Now, if I
Yeah,
keep X, it is showing at 20.
but network is okay. Line this one. Okay, dot gnp random graph 21. Uh, Most likely due to a circular import. Okay, are you importing twice?
Uh, no,
For now, comment line 9 and comment line 22 for now,
okay, yes.
and then run it once.
Still it is showing some,
Uh,
before this error, there's one more error.
mhm.
Import line 8. Okay, is
Okay,
this error, sir? This one, is this error?
yeah,
No, no.
file. This is an error file using Python. Yeah, but this is a previous error. Now run once more. If the
Okay,
same error comes, then we will get to.
yeah.
Okay, so this thing itself is not there. In your case, this network X is not available, right? Now, line
I need
8
to
is not.
download anything.
Yeah, but generally it is there by default. But I don't know
Okay.
why it is happening. Maybe the package you installed for this Python that might have missed that.
In fact,
Okay.
when I have done during the video sessions, when I run this, it worked.
Hmm. Okay, it
But
worked. Then
during the video sessions, I
okay.
got the graph, whatever you got it on the
Hmm.
screen just
Yes, yes,
10 minutes back. Similar
yes,
graphs,
yes.
I got it. But
Okay. The
afterwards, I
problem
don't know.
now I have got the problem. You have saved this file itself as the name network X.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Right.
You are
Understood.
importing your own this file itself to itself, and that is the
Okay,
problem.
okay.
Never name your file as the name of a library. That is the
Yes.
error.
Understood. Understood. Thank you.
You
Thank you very much.
copy paste it in any other name, and
Um,
first at least remove this
I will
file.
remove this. I
Otherwise,
will remove this file
yeah,
and I will re-simulate it with
yeah.
another
If you
name.
delete this, then only other programs will also work. Otherwise, it tries to find the same name
Yes.
library in the folder
Uh,
itself.
that's
That
why
is
it
the
is
problem.
giving error circular loop import.
Circular, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's- Yeah, this thing we have to take care many a times that
Yeah,
the
yeah.
file
Yes.
file we are using should not be named as a library.
Library name. Correct.
Yeah. And this is the way we create libraries. Sometimes we create a lot of functions and we name it
Mhm.
as a file. And then if you want to use those functions, we just import that name and it
Mm.
works.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
I'm
you can stop sharing now. I think
yes.
that will work. And like once you are done, tell me whether it worked or not.
Sure. I will
I
do
think
that.
it
And
will. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So let's resume. Okay. Okay. So let's come to problem 4. What will be output of this code? Import network access annex. So this is very similar to the previous one. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Why are we importing this? Anyone?
So plotting graphs.
Plotting
Graph
graph.
plotting purpose.
Yes. So this comes from matplot library. Uh, this is something very useful if we are going for graph contours and these things. This is like we learned about turtle earlier, right? Turtle was for basic graphics, something like that. This is very useful to plot, and generally when you are dealing with a lot of data, it is better to present it in form of graph or charts and these things. This is a very useful tool. Okay. And then we have g equals to annex dot graph. So what this might be doing? Anyone?
So it makes a graph of the network, like connections to the nodes, and stores it in the variable G.
Yes. But here in this case, we are not defining anything there. No nodes, nothing at all, right? So an empty graph, you can say that we have created an area or a canvas where we will draw our graph, or where we will be putting our graph. Okay. Then in line 5, what we are doing is that we are adding nodes from, and here you see there is a list.
Hello.
1, 2, 3. Yes, Suraj, you are saying something?
So can you hear me?
Yes, Suraj, I can hear you.
Sir, in the previous question, I did not imported matplotlib .pyplot by
Mhm.
mistake, and still it was able to plot the graph.
Yeah, so it might be that you have used it, you are using in the Colab,
Uh, no,
you are
I'm
using
using,
Google Colab or Spider.
no, I'm using Spider.
Spider, okay. Then it might be like new versions might have this built into it. That
It
might be
just
what.
shows that PLT is not defined, but still draws the graph just after the error.
Okay, yeah, some module might be present, which is working fine for it.
Okay, sir.
So not an issue. Because a lot of things are getting added recently, and maybe that I am a bit acquainted with some previous versions, and something might be redundant now. Okay, so uh, g dot add nodes from. So here we are adding nodes from a list. So what do you think? All of these nodes will be added, or some of these will be added? There are two questions related to this. First is, will all the nodes be added in the graph or not? And second is, can we use letters or other things like A, B, C, D to represent these nodes? Anyone? No, answer it not by trying, but by your intuition, what you understand. Do you think
Maybe all notes.
maybe? Yeah, Grishma, I was not able to hear you clearly.
Maybe all four elements are as notes.
Yes, all four elements as nodes, because here, though it looks like add from, that seems like some of them can only be taken, but all of them will be taken. Okay, and when we are adding edges, that also all of them will be added. And in this case, you see the edges are defined using tuples, and the whole thing is defined as a list. Okay, and to answer the second question, that is, we can even use letters, alphabets, and even words as nodes. But it is very easy to understand in case of numbers like node 1, node 2, node 3. Like when you see the graph, that is easier. And here we will be doing it with levels equals to true. What that will do is that will show the numbers there. If we put it false, the numbers will not be shown. So let's, okay, so what will this look like? What will be the output of the code? Let's put four nodes here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So what connections will be there? Let's start with node 1. So it will be connected to which nodes? Anyone?
Two. Two.
1 and 2, there will be a connection. Then second connection is 2 and 1. So it will be the same connection or different? We will have parallel connections or same connection. What do you say?
No
Will
connection.
it be like this? Yes, it will be same connection. Actually, it will not be like this. It will be a single line itself. Then we have 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 will be connected. Then we have 3 and 4. So this will be connected. Then we have 4 and 1. So actually a rectangular kind of thing is there, rectangular square. Then we have 3 and 1. So 3 and 1 will also be interconnected. So it is rectangle with one diagonal. Let's see. It can. Yeah. In this case, you see the positions are different, and if we run it again, the positions can still be different. Okay. It will take the optimal position. In this case, it is like a rhombus with a diagonal. If we run it again, a bit distorted shaped, yet these connections. Okay. So clear. So it will be something like we will have all the nodes connected, like one will be connected to two, two will be connected to three, three to four, four to one, and one and three will be connected diagonally. Okay. Any doubts in this? So in one case, it was something like this. Okay. And let's try that thing where I was saying, what if we put it as letters instead of numbers? Okay. Everyone clear? Sakshar, are you getting it?
Yes, sir, I'm understanding.
Understanding? Okay. And please feel free to ask doubts. There is, when we are learning, even if we are grown up, it is fine if we do mistakes, not an issue. Even if
Yes,
the
I
answer is,
always make mistakes, sir.
yeah, even if the answer is wrong, it does not matter. It is fine if you try.
Sir, if the from the node list, if a node is mentioned twice,
Yes,
will it show an error or will it make another node with the same letter or number?
let's try that also. Okay. What do you think? What is your opinion on this? Can there be two nodes
No.
like of same numbers? That will actually create some, you can say, some confusion, but let's see that. Okay. For now, I am just doing this. Delete. Okay. First, let's run this. So you see, in this case, the nodes have become A, B, C, D. So we can say that we can put the name as letters and strings also. The next thing is, what if we put repeat? Like if we repeat the node names, let's put A again. Okay. And run this. What is happening here? Is A shown twice? So ideally, you can say that whatever list we are giving, that is somewhat like converted into a set and then used as nodes here. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So even if we give it again and again, ideally it should give an error, but it has been taken care that even if someone repeats the node, it will still be once only, not twice. Okay, but if we put something like AA, it should work fine. Then we will have 5 nodes with AA not connected to any one of them. Right? But if we are putting A, it is just the previous A itself. No extra A is coming back. Okay, now let's come to some very easy problems for today.
Excuse me, sir. With
Yes,
labels 2 means it show the node's name in the node.
yes, with the values for them. Okay, so how many edges are there in the following graph? Anyone? I think we have already
Four.
discussed 4.
Four.
Yes, because we have this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it should be 4. Right, now to problem 6. How many neighbor does node 3 have?
3.
3. How?
The 2, 1, and 4.
2 is a neighbor, 1 is a neighbor, 4 is a neighbor. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, okay, for this it is fine that we have 3 neighbors. What if we were, the question was how many neighbors node 2 have? Then
2.
It will be two, sir. Only
2,
one
2,
and three, sir.
1 and 3. Why not 4?
So because 4 is not directly connected to 2 in any respect. It is indirectly
Yes,
linked through 1 and 3.
1 and 3. So, and if something is one node is at the site, like if this was not there, then will 1 be the neighbor of 2 or not? It is
No.
just
No, 1 will not be the neighbor of 2 because we
no.
can't relate to it.
Yes, because they must be connected by edge. A neighbor is not someone who is not like if he lives near just after you, but in between there is a river which you cannot cross. So ideally, that person cannot be considered as a neighbor. Okay, so this is something like that. When there is a connectivity and you are adjacent, then that will be considered as neighbor. Okay, so how many neighbors does 4 have? Node 4.
So based on this condition, it's 2. And if
Uh,
I remove that, then also it's 2, sir.
and for 1, how many nodes we have? How many edges we have?
1, 2, 3. 3 in ideal condition, and after removing this, we have 2.
Yeah, I have removed that. Then it is 2 only, right?
2, sir.
And if I would have kept, that was 3, right? So for node 3, the correct answer will be 3, right? Okay. Now comes a very important
Last
question.
option, sir.
We have started with first class itself. How many ways can we create a string in Python? Single quotes,
Last
double quotes,
option.
triple quotes. Okay, last option. What is the difference between these 3 type of quotes? Anyone?
Sir,
Like,
I can tell the difference between the triple quotes and the other 2 quotes. Sir, in triple quotes, sir, whatever we write, that is actually not assigned to any variable, anything. That is known as pre-formatted text, sir, as you said the previous day. Means on
mhm,
many days ago, not previous day. But sir,
yeah,
so sir, it is pre-formatted text. Means if we write the triple quotes and inside that if we write anything and everything is going to be printed. Even if we write say import functions and mathematical calculations, nothing is going to be calculated. It is just going to print only the calculations. For example, if I write a equal to 2 plus 3, then it is going to write a equal to 2 plus 3, not a equal to 5. So like that.
yeah, yeah. Whatever
Whereas
comes
in
in
case of
between,
sir, wherever in case of number 1 and 2 means option A and B, we are assigning
mhm,
a set of characters or letters or numbers to a specific variable, which we are then using for some purpose in the problem.
Okay. Anyone else?
The triple quotes is generally used for multi-line strings.
Yes,
Single quotes
multi-line.
is generally used for characters, not strings, but it can also be used for strings. And double quotes are generally used for characters, for strings, but can also be used for characters.
String and characters. Okay. Anyone
Yeah.
else?
In Python, there is no specific difference between single and double quotes actually.
Yeah.
Means in other
Yes.
languages we use single quotes for characters, double quotes for strings, and dot 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 so and
Yeah.
so.
But it is always, as rightly pointed out by Snehal, it is always good to follow one convention. Okay. If you are
Yeah.
coding, if you have some conventions, it is very easy for you. Otherwise, your code will look very clumsy, as well as when you go to see it after some days, some years, you will not be able to understand your own code. So always go for some conventions. Like this is a very good convention that for single quotes, but this is not necessary. That for characters, we generally go for single quotes. For strings, we generally go for double quotes, though it can be reversed and it is fine. But on one side single quote, other side double quote, that will not work. For both the sides, it will be either single quotes or double quotes. And triple quotes also, it must be matched. But in case of single and double quotes, we cannot go for multiple lines. If we are going to print multiple lines, we are not able to do using single and double quotes. What is the solution there? If we want to go multiple lines in single or double quotes, anyone?
Pre-formatted text.
Okay, there is one more option. Anyone?
Slash n, escape
Yeah,
sequence, backslash n.
Yeah, escape
backslash.
sequences.
Yes, we discussed this earlier also, right? We can
Yes.
go for backslash n. And any other difference anyone knows? Okay, let's try this, whether all three of them are working or not. And one more thing is that for, yeah, I will show that. Yeah. So in this case, what I am doing is that I am putting different type of quotes. First one is S1 equals to hello class in double quotes. S2, welcome to joy of computing in single quotes. Print S1, so it should print hello class. Print S2, it prints welcome to joy of computing. And then I am putting S3, uh, hello class, welcome to joy of computing, and printing S3. Okay, let's run this. Okay, uh, no, then it will be different. Okay, one more thing is there. If we are going to put something triple quotes, if we are going to put it somewhere in between codes without any print statement, here in this case you will see this line will not be printed, it will act as comment. This line 12 and 3, is it executing anywhere?
No, it isn't.
It isn't printing. Okay, because if you are putting it as in between codes, it will not be, printed, it will act as comment. Okay, so we can even use triple quotes for multi-line comment. Okay, but
Yes, sir.
there is a problem with this. If we are putting it, okay, sorry, for now let me, okay, but what if it was at the last? See what is happening here. In this case, in case you put a multi-line comment using triple quotes at the end of the code, that is at the last of the code. In the execution, you will see it as an output. This is a problem that we generally face, especially when you are working with Colab. Okay, fine.
So then why is it so?
Because in this case, since it is being executed, at the last, it is just printed. And this is a problem that I have seen. It occurs, and that is why multi-line comment you should not put at the end. Many a times people put like create everything, and at the end they put this pre-formatted text as it is to explain what happened in the program, and then this thing which they don't want to be displayed to the user actually gets displayed to the user. So you should avoid multi-line comments at the end, and if you have to do it, put this use this pound mark, hashtag mark. Okay, clear? And
Yes, sir.
if you just put some command after it, then it is fine. Then in that case it will not work. Then in that case it will not come.
Sir, I
Okay.
right now I saw you doing something, sir. You were actually adding, sir, a hash before this print, this pre-formatted text, and then, sir, it was becoming something else. So, can you please show that once again?
Hash I was
Sir,
just
in line
putting
number 16.
in line
Sir, in
15.
line number 16, sir, you put a hash before that just a few seconds ago, sir. No, sir,
This one.
previous line, sir. Line of 15, sir. 15, sir. 15.
15. Yes.
Just before the. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
This is what is happening.
this is because if I am putting this hash symbol, that is equal to a single line comment. You cannot have multiple lines commented with this. So in this case, line 15 is getting commented, but line 16, 17, 18 are not commented. That is why you see and, as, is, for, these are, since these are keywords, they are getting highlighted here. And if we run this, it will give us an error.
Yes, sir. Now I got it.
Okay. Any questions on this?
So the multi-line comments at the end of the program getting printed, is that a Google Colab only feature or is it available on
No,
other?
it's not a feature, but this is something that I observed
It's a
even
drawback.
when even when I did it on VS Code. I generally don't prefer Spider. I generally use VS Code and Spider, and one more I think I used. But on all of this is something that I observed. And Colab, it is for sure, it is working. Colab, Jupyter, it is working. It is doing this thing.
In
Clear?
Jupyter Notebook also it does like that.
Yes.
Sir,
Almost
is
in.
VS Code good?
Uh, I find it good because I can go for multiple coding languages. If you are working only with Python, that is, you can go with other IDEs. But VS Code I can use for multiple like C, C++. I even go for embedded C. So VS Code is easy for me since I don't have to switch many applications. Right, I am acquainted with one, but it is fully your choice. Okay, and in VS Code, going for this data, large amount of data, when you go for NumPy in this, it is a bit difficult. In that case, you have to shift to something like Spider and this thing. Okay.
That
Now,
means that every platform has its own disadvantage.
advantage and disadvantage. So it is all up
Yes.
to your user. Okay. Now, this is something, a very unique way to put. Till now, what we have done, what we generally do is that. Uh, here I will. Okay. Let me comment this for now. Okay. So Till now, we were directly using print, and in print we were writing name, place, and something, right? But there are ways in which you can combine variable as well as uh, strings together to display something. Okay, like we can even write print, then we can write. In fact, we have done it earlier also. Okay, so name we can put any. So we can combine string how are you and then the variable name, and we can put is it visible to everyone or should I zoom it a bit?
No, no, sir.
That's fine. Okay. So if we run it like this, we'll say see that how are you Suresh. This is being printed. How are you and the full stop. These were strings which we gave. Okay, and name is the variable, and we have seen this separation is by default a space. That is why you see in case of this there is a space automatically generated between Suresh and full stop as well as you and Suresh. Fine. This one everyone knows, right? But sometimes we don't have this much this much of patience to keep closing the quotes and then putting a comma, then putting the variable, then comma, then another. So there is a way that you can directly put like directly go for writing this, just put an empty space there, and later on you put the values like the variables. Okay, like this. Okay, hello, and then just put wherever you want to put the variable. But remember, in this case, spaces will not be automatically generated. A curly bracket. Where is your school? I live at, then again curly bracket. And then there is dot format. And remember, in this case, we have to follow the sequence. Name, if it is written at first, it will be replacing the first occurrence. Place, it will be replacing the second occurrence of the curly bracket. And if I am putting one more, in this case, let's run it first without that. Okay. So you see the second, since we have not put anything, it will give us an error. Okay.
We have to put another variable, sir, I
Yes,
guess.
we have to put another variable, and we can even repeat the variable like name, place, and then name again. Okay. And in this case, you see it is working. So this is also a way to do it. Fine. Any doubts in this? Dot format. This is something which is very useful if you have less number of variables and you don't want to go for multiple times breaking the line. And okay,
So
but
this is quite
in
interesting, sir.
yeah,
This
but
function is quite
in
interesting.
yeah, but in this case you have to take care that you follow the sequence, you don't miss. Okay, all the so you cannot do this for a very long paragraph and these things. Okay, clear?
So using if is also one convention there. What is that? Using
Yes,
if,
f is just a short form for format.
same syntax is to be followed for that also.
Yes, same sentence. So and you see in this, okay, and in this case, in triple quotes, one more problem we face is that we cannot put variables in between. Once the triple quote, in this case, dot format will not work. Okay, because we know that it is pre-formatted. From the name itself, remember that we cannot use format. It is already formatted. However, you write, if you write with space, without space, you write in multiple lines, you put some extra spaces, it will be printed as it is. Okay. So if I am putting extra space, which is taking that extra space, if I am putting no space, if I am putting a extra line, in case of print, we know that extra line is not generated automatically. It is just generated at the end of the print statement. But in this case, it is being generated automatically because I have put one extra line. Clear? Any doubts in this?
No, sir.
No. So we can use all three of these, but there are some features. Single quotes, double quotes, we can use, we can format. Okay. In triple quotes, it is pre-formatted, as well as it can be used for multi-line comment. Fine.
Yes, sir. But sir, in
So
format we can't mess it. Otherwise, it will become something like my name is Kolkata. I live in Sakshar. So that will
yes,
be something.
you will have to take care of a lot of things, and format. I generally don't recommend to write for long quotes. Like if you have long string, don't go for it. If you have shorter string and you are very fine with it, go for it. Otherwise, it is fine, not an issue, and it is very easy to change things at the end and let the other things remain like that. But it is fine. I actually generally don't use format that much. That is upon you. It is not something. Okay.
And sir, one
Now,
question, sir, means this is
yes,
somewhat out of topic. Sir, in other programming languages, sir, is there anything like format which in other languages? Do we have anything similar
yes,
function like this?
yes, yes. And in fact, these are in other in like C, C++. These are this is the only way you go for it. Like you put %d, and then at the end put things in the using comma. This thing. In some
Yes.
cases, this is the only way. But there you don't have to write format in this thing. In Python, whatever is going to be printed, whatever is going to be scanned, it is considered a string. And that makes it very easy for us to go for it. Otherwise, in other cases, we have to do a lot of conversion and these things. We have to do this. Okay. How many nodes and how many edges does this graph have?
Option A.
Okay. 10 and 6. Okay. So
There are six
let's
edges, sir, no problem.
6
And number of
edges.
nodes
Okay.
is 10, sir. Number of
Okay.
nodes is 6 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, 10, sir. Option A.
Six, 6 edges. Okay. And nodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Mm.
10. Sure. Okay. So there are in total 10 and 6. But why are we not calculating it twice? Like if this is number 1, this is number 2. Okay. So if I write 1, 2 as and I write 2, 1, are they same or different?
Sir, didn't get, sir. Can you please repeat, sir?
If I write an edge 1, 2, and if I write an edge 2, 1, is it same or different?
Sir, in coordinates it used to be different.
I'm not talking about coordinate. I am talking about edge.
Same,
Edge,
sir.
edge.
Same, sir.
Same. Okay. Will it always be same?
If we keep an
So
arrow, might be not.
so
Yes.
based on
In
your tone of your voice, it seems it will not be same always.
okay. Okay. So I will try
It's a
to.
directed graph, then it will go to same.
Yes. So if it is a directed graph, it will be different. In case it is not a directed graph, it will be same. Okay, 1 2 and 2 1 will be same. In case there is no direction, sometimes we see that the code or the network follows a direction. It cannot go back until unless it is defined as a bidirectional network. In that case, it will be different. Okay, now come to the degree of separation for a complete graph will be degree of separation. Anyone?
Last option, sir.
Last option 3. Okay, depends on number of nodes. Okay, anyone? Yes, Mira, you are saying something?
3.
3. How?
One,
1. Okay, why? Why is the question?
because we can in a complete graph we are drawing edges to from one node to all other nodes. We are drawing edges. Therefore,
Hmm,
we are able to connect any person with a one single uh,
hmm,
edge.
hmm. Degree of separation. Anyone knows what is degree of separation?
To go from one place to another place, how many steps we are taking. For example, if you are going from one first node to fourth node, are we going directly or are we going through
Yes.
somebody else?
Yes. So that is the number of steps that we take to uh, reach from one node to another. The minimum number. Okay, that is called the degree of separation. So ideally, if it is 1, that means each and every node is neighbor of each other. Okay, so when each and every node is the neighbor of each other, in that case we say that the degree of separation is 1, and that is also called as a complete graph. Like I showed you in the first example itself, that we will have to uh, have all these connected. Like if we put one, we were putting one there, what was happening? Everything was getting connected. Okay, but that was different, and this is bit different. Okay, uh, the value is different, but the way is different. But the degree of separation is something like how we connect, and that is one single step will lead to the any other node, and that is called as a complete graph. Okay, now come to a question that we used earlier also. How can we, like I explained, I think in previous or previous to previous class, I explained, how can we get RGB of a pixel? Remember, I talked about something having a, uh, like if we have an image, for every pixel, there are different values. If it is a black and white picture, it will have values relating just to black values or white values, you can say. But in case it is a color image, and we know that red, green, and blue make up mixed in different proportions, give all the colors we see on our screen. So in what proportion they are mixed, we will have that three values for every pixel, like 2, 4, 9, something like that. 1, 1, 2, like this. This will define different colors, different levels. Okay. How can we get RGB of a pixel? Like separating it, how can we do that? Anyone knows the command? Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, get pixel.
Get
Yes, sir.
pixel.
Get pixel.
Option B, sir.
Option D, that is get pixel. Okay. So this is used to get pixel values. Okay. And then we can do some processing, and later on we can even join them back. So in the previous class, we were talking whether it is possible to reconstruct the color image or not. And we said yes. Okay. And we can go by this. And this is specifically to get a single pixel. For a single pixel value, we will put that pixel value in coordinate system, you can say X and Y axis. But we can even separate these three layers, and then we can do some enhancement and processing. Okay. So now let's come to programming assignment. Okay. Given two strings S1 and S2, write a function substring that accepts two strings S1 and S2 and will return true if a okay okay it should not be if S2 is a substring of S1, otherwise false. Substring means it is part of that. A substring is a contiguous, means continuous sequence of character within a string. Okay, like if we have S1 as banana mania, okay, and S2 as nana, okay. So in this case, it should give us true. Why? Because this nana is available here, continuous. Okay. Whereas if we are going for S1 as AA, BBC, and S2 as ABC, though A, B, and C are individually present, but they are not present continuously. Like A, B, even if it is present, C is not there. Okay. So in this case, it should give us false. So how can we do this? Anyone? Yes, Akshay, you are
So
trying to
using
say
the
something. Yes, Nair, continue.
I
using
can
the
try.
in operator,
Using the in operator. Okay. So
if
in operator.
S2 is in S1,
Hmm,
return true, otherwise return else return false.
okay, let's try that. Okay. So for now, let's define S1 and S2 instead of getting it. S1.
155 lines program.
Yeah, that is something actually in one of the class I was discussing. So, that is snake and ladder. The one did in the class itself. There was some some student was confused with it. That is why it is.
Sir, in our batch only.
No, no, in previous batch, I think that is why it is there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So we can say if S2 in S1. Okay, we had to make this one. No? Okay. I think we were supposed to make a function, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, I can put somewhere here. Mm. Just put S1, S2 only. Okay. Now S1, S2 we have put. In the last line, whatever we put actually gets an output. Even if we are not going to print, put a print here, it will give us an output, like we saw in the pre-formatted text. Okay. So though we generally go for print and all, but generally the last line itself gives an output. If some output is coming and it is not going into a variable, it will be displayed there. So
True for all platforms or just for Jupyter Notebook only?
for all mostly I have seen that this happens. Since this is an interpreted language, okay, so it runs line by line. So in the last line, if nothing is there, actually the if some value is coming out of that line, it will be displayed. It acts as if it is a single line code. Okay, S1. Okay, sorry here. If S2 and S1, right? It is true. Fine. Now let's try it with the example that other one was AA, BB, CC, and ABC. Okay. So it is working fine. Very simple, right? Any other way we can do this? Anyone? Or anyone having any doubt in this? Okay. So we can
No,
move
no,
forward,
sir.
right? Yeah. So we
So it
here
could also be done in the traditional way
where we are checking one
with a
for loop and one by one.
exactly. So yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The
Okay.
bigger one.
Yes. Yes, Suraj, you are trying to say something?
Sir, I did it in a very long way.
The
It
traditional
is
way.
fine. Yeah, it is fine, not an issue. Uh, Sometimes there are some very easy ways available.
Yes, sir. I
Now,
was to-
now since you have put a lot of mind into it, now the next time whenever you will go for it, you will remember this. That I did it very long way. It was very simple, so you will remember this in function every time, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now let's come to given two dictionaries, D1 and D2, write a function merge dictionary that accepts two dictionaries D1 and D2 and returns a new dictionary by merging D1 and D2. And the content of D1 should be appearing before the content of D2 in new dictionary and in same order. Then in case uh, there are duplicates, the value present in D1 will remain. Okay. The value from D2 will not be added. Simple. Okay. So how can we do that? Like you see, yeah, in this case, we have 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4. Okay. So all these are added serially. It is fine. But if there was something called something like 1, 2 here, this should not be added. Okay. Something like that. So how can we do that? Anyone?
First, we will create the empty dictionary.
Yes. First we will create an empty dictionary D maybe. Yeah.
Then append it with dictionary one first.
Append with D dot append D1 we can say. Okay. Okay. Let's try that directly on
Append
the.
with D2 if
Yeah. Yeah, let's create the function itself, right? That. Okay. And what will be the input here? D1 and D2, right? Or we can even put some other name for ease. Let's go. Okay. So we will first create a dictionary D equals to an empty dictionary.
dictionary.
Okay. Then let's put D dot append
D1.
D1. Okay. And then
For key in D2,
for K in
D2.
D2.
If K is not in D1,
K
K not in D1. K
not
not in D1.
D D1.
Append D
D dot append, right?
uh, uh, D dot append
And what
D2K.
will K?
D2
Oh,
D2K.
okay. D2. Yes. This is fine now. Yeah.
I hope this should work.
Yeah. And then at last we will return also, right?
Yeah, yes, return. Return D.
Return. Let's try this. Then let's discuss what issues are happening. Okay. So let's go with this one. The one is 1, 1. Let's put 3. Okay. Is it fine?
Yes.
Okay. So what is happening here?
Has no attribute. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay.
There is nothing
So
like
append is a
append.
list, sir. I use append for list.
Wow.
Yes. So how we can do that?
We can use copy instead of
Oh,
append.
yes. So how we can do that? We can put D dot copy.
D equal to D dot copy of D1.
D dot copy D1. Okay.
Directly we can write D1
Hmm.
rather
Yes.
going for another new dictionary. In
Hmm.
fact, dictionary 1 is already, dictionary 2 need to be appended. Therefore, directly we will take dictionary 1 and we will
Hmm.
check whether the key in the dictionary 2 is present in dictionary 1 or not. If not
Yes.
present, we'll add this key to that.
Yes. So we can directly add to D2, right?
D1.
D1.
D1. Yeah.
Yeah, we can put like, let's put 4K in D2. Okay. If K not in D1, so we can say D, D1K. And what will be the value here? Equals to what?
D2 of K.
Is equal to D2 of K. Fine. And then we will return actually D1 itself.
D1.
And certainly our original variable will not change since this is being done in the function, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
though the name are same, still that will not have any effect. So we see 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 4, 5, and 1, 2 is not added, right? So
Yes.
this in this case, we can either go for this, or even if someone is not comfortable with not in these two things combined, they can go for something like, if K in D, then pass, and else this one. Both will work. But this is, in this case, we are not going for else, and it is fine. We are directly ignoring if that is occurring. Okay. So the sequence is also maintained and no problem there. Fine.
So
Any
copying idea was could have worked here or not?
which
Copying.
one? Uh, Copying the whole dictionary will also work, but that is something like, since what is happening is that here we don't need to create an extra variable. The reason is that D1 and D2, these are local variables in this case, or for easy understanding, we can name it as DD1 and DD2, because these are different from the actual D1 and D2. So we don't need to preserve them, in fact. So why to create an extra variable if we don't need to preserve them? Because they are already preserved in the actual D1 and D2. Okay. But it will work fine even in that case.
Okay, sir.
Or we can even go, yeah, one more thing is that if we put equal to, like if we put capital D equals to D1, then what happens? If we do this, the problem is that the new variable, if you change the new variable, actually the previous variable, that will also change. So we cannot directly use equal to, and that is why copy is needed. Clear? Okay, now let's come to assignment 3. Given an integer n, print all the indexes of numbers in that integer from left to right. Okay? Input, like we have 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 is occurring once, 2 is occurring twice, 3 once, 4 once, 5 once at different position. Okay, so we have to print, like, first we have to print the number and then its index, like 1 at position number 0, then 2 at position number 1 and 2, position or index number 1 and 2, then 3 at index number 3, 4 at index number 4, and 5 at index number 5. So how can we do this?
So I think at first I should be taking a copy of that integer into string. So means I will be taking that as a string, and then I will convert it into integer and store it in the inside another variable. So I am getting a string and an integer. So now, sir, if I am going to run a for loop from 0 to 9, then sir at first I am going to get 0, and then sir I will be traversing through the string searching for 0. So if I get the positions in which I am going to get zeros, I am going to print that instantaneously. Then sir I am going to traverse for 1, and then sir I will be traversing through the string for 1, and then sir whatever values I am going to get for 1, I am going to print that simultaneously. Same goes for 2, 3, 4, 5, and inside that I am going to use a check that if the number of occurrences is 0, then I am not going to print that. I am going to ignore that and proceed to the next.
Yeah,
So
this is
this
the
is,
algorithm. How can we do in
yes.
code? Let's
Sir, at first, yes sir.
let's code here itself.
So at first I am going to write x is
Yeah,
equal to input bracket
directly.
open close. Yes sir, not int. N, okay sir, n. Then n is equal to input.
Just a minute. There we go.
Also we can take x is equal to input, and then I will be
Yeah,
making it n is equal to int of x.
let's
X
put
is
it
equal
like
to
this
int.
only. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay, simply let's
Okay
forget
sir.
about the conversion here, because if we are taking an input from the user, it will be by default a string. Okay, then
Yes
what
sir.
to do?
Then sir I will be making n is equal to int of x.
And equals to
Int of
int
x.
y.
So it means I will be using it as an integer as well. So that means I can use it in the later parts. I'm just keeping it like that. Then sir I will be using a for loop from 0 to 9, means for I in range bracket 0 comma 10 bracket 0 comma 10 colon.
Mm,
Then sir inside this I will going to write for j in range, for j in range
mm.
L of x.
L of x.
Len of x, len of x, sorry sir, len of x. Yes sir, colon. Then
Okay.
sir I am going to, for j in range, if I is equal to,
Y
if
is
I
equal
is
to
equal to j, then count plus equal to 1. Before that I am going to add a value for count. C plus c equal to c plus 1. Yes sir, count plus anything like that,
C plus plus to 1.
equal to 1. Sir,
Why
between
why
this
are
for
why are you counting? We just need indexes, not the count.
oh, we don't need the
We
count sir. Then
Yes.
then sir I am going to print the no, I'm not going to print the index. I am going to append this into a string. Yes sir. Then sir between the for I and for j sir I'm going to create a string s equal to, means in opening and closing double braces.
Okay. S equals to
Opening and closing double braces. No sir, not braces, it's inverted commas sir. Inverted commas.
okay.
Empty string. Then sir, then I am going to, means if I equal to j, then s is equal to s plus I. S is equal to s plus j. Sorry sir. S equal to s plus j.
S equals to
S plus
S
j.
plus J.
J.
Okay.
And sir,
J
count also
J
sir.
is a
I will have to use count sir. I will have to use count sir. I will be using
okay.
count sir. Then sir, means after this s equal to opening and closing inverted commas, I will be writing count equal to 0.
Okay.
Yes sir. Here sir, I will be
Let's
writing
put
count
C
equal to 0.
equals to
C equal to
0
0. Yes sir. Then sir, I will be writing here c plus equal to 1.
plus equals
C
to
plus equal to
1.
1. Yes sir.
Okay.
Now I am going to close the inner loop. So I am going to close the inner loop. Come to the outer part.
Mhm. Here.
Yes sir. So I am going to check if c equal to 0. If c is greater than 0, if c is greater
Okay.
than 0 colon, then sir print print I equal to then measure inside brackets in bracket बोल दी sir means I am telling sir inside the inverted commas I is equal to
What is I? Why we are printing I?
sir means I means the position sir means position no sir actually means this letter. So for example one sir one I is equal to means sir I will be outside. So I will be outside and equal to will be inside this means close inverted commas.
Okay.
I comma equal to then sir again comma then s comma s yes s
Okay.
yes sir.
Okay. Let's run this. What is happening here?
Sir, we have not given an extra bracket, sir. In range, sir, after range, sir, we have to give another bracket. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can only concatenate. Then, sir, I have to write s equal to s plus str of j.
Okay. Let's
Str
do
bracket j
that.
open close. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what is this?
No, this is not right then. This is wrong.
Okay. Anyone else who can help him?
Sir, since there are multiple times same number is arrived, cannot use this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Suraj, continue.
Sir,
Since
I'm saying
multiple time.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like just like in this example, we have two times one. So if we use this type of command code, we cannot print two indexes at a time.
Yes. So how can we do that? Let's create a new code. Let's put
Yes,
num
sir.
equals to 1 1 2 2 3 4 4 5. Yeah. And then
So I will write for I
then
in range length of len of
let's
num.
try. Okay. I will make it a bit easier for you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Then in
For
this,
I in range 10. Okay. So
yes,
we are going from 0 to 9.
yes, sir.
If I
If
in num, we have to find the occurrence only if I is in number. Like we don't want to go for 6, we don't want to go for 7, 8, 9, and these things, right?
sir, sir, we have to take care of multiple arrivals. So uh, I will
Hmm.
do something different from this.
Okay. We can. Okay, I will write them. Let's check. Okay.
Okay,
If
sir.
I is present, then we want to find that occurrences. If one is present, we want where one is present. Okay. And then we can go for uh, first we will print this print I comma and equals to nothing. Okay, because or we can put one single space because we want to print in the same, right? For mm, mm, mhm. Double equals to I. For I in num. Okay, I.
Sir, I is integer and num is string, so it cannot be present in.
Yeah. So we can say str. Yeah. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are printing. If j in range num of j. Okay, this is printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is fine. But we want to print the indexes. If num j double equals to I. Okay. Yeah. Here also same problem. Str. Okay. Is it fine now? It is printing the number
Yes,
and
sir,
the
it is.
indexes. Okay. There can be some easier way also. Okay. Like I am converting str to I, stri every time. Okay. Anyone with some easier way for this?
Why to write that for I in range of 10? We are comparing, we are looking at whether 0 is there every time or 1 is there, 2 is there, up to
Yes.
0 to 9 numbers are there or not.
9.
Rather
Yes.
than that,
Mm,
we can take something like the first number, whether it is
mm,
repeating
mm,
there or not, we can go like that.
yes. So how can we do that?
Uh, the same thing, removing that first, we can remove that statement first for loop.
Mhm. Let's do that. Okay. Let this remain. And for now, let's write
Okay.
here. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So how can we do that?
Uh, for I in range,
For I
in
in
range,
range
ln of number,
len of
num,
num. Yeah.
print num of I,
Num of I. Okay.
comma I,
Okay.
and since we also require the index along with that number 1, we need an
Comma
index
I.
of that, comma
Yes.
I, and equal to, comma
Comma
and
and
equal to, yeah,
in quotes.
and equal to quotes, E and D.
Okay. Yeah. Two quotes. Okay. Space or not? Okay. Fine. Let's put
Yeah,
space
space.
here. Yeah. And then
And for J, we will check whether this num of I is repeating somewhere else or not.
mm, for J.
For J
Mm,
in range, I plus 1, comma len of number.
num. Okay.
Right. What we are doing is the first num
Occurrence
of
we are
I we
leaving.
are
Yeah.
comparing with the other things.
Mm-hmm.
If num of I equals to num of j,
Num of I equals to
equals to num
num
of
of
j,
J.
then print j.
J.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's
That's all. And then we will put a print here also, right? To print a
oh,
new
okay.
line.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And let's put a print here to differentiate between both the outputs.
Okay.
Okay. Is it the same?
10111 is repeating.
Hmm. Because 1 will be coming once again. The indexes are being repeated 2 times.
In the first statement, second first statement, what is the in the second first statement? Can we keep a increment 1?
Where? In this one? Yes, we
Yeah,
can use
comma
increment,
1,
comma 1.
comma 1. So that let us check right now.
Yeah. By default, that is 1 only.
Okay.
There is one way we can go for. Uh, there are actually many ways, but one good way to do it is, let me say, let's put a print first, differentiate the, okay. One way is that, I remember in sets, I said that uh, we can remove duplicates using a set, okay? And then we can loop through a set to find the number of occurrences. So what we can do is that we can put num s equals to set of list of num. Okay, so this will make it, first it will be converted to a list, then into a set. So multiple occurrences are gone for n in num s. Okay, now we can individually check. For and first we will be printing I, right? Not I, sorry. First we'll be printing n, and then uh, I in range. This we should put before. It is there, then only it is in our set, right? For I in range, length of the number, that is, since number we are taking in a string, so it will go through one by one. If num index I equals to uh, n, here we will have int n. So in this case, we'll not be looping from 0 to 10 if we are trying to reduce that. But the process will be very similar to the previous one. We will put I, comma, I think it should work. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, sorry. Print n for I in range.
So why is this hash coming?
I have put that print to separate these three outputs, right? We are putting three codes in the same. Like in the same code, we are putting three different output, three different ways, right? For I in range, length of num, if num equals to int n, uh, num I. Okay, that will be a string itself. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get it now.
So, yeah. Now, since we have to change the lines, we will be putting one print. Uh, this is inside this folder. Print this, right? Are we getting it correct this time? So if we don't want to loop throughout and we want to remove this reoccurrences like that, we can even go for set and we can loop through a set also. That is also fine. Any doubts in this? Anyone?
Yes.
No, sir, clear. Got it.
Okay, so that's all. Any questions related to this?
Sir, why the number is not repeated in previous code? Is this number is should
Number not repeated in the sense I am not getting you. Here in line 23, you are saying?
for n in nums, then
Uh,
if there are two n's like two s places, so when it comes to first time it go to the I loop and it
yes.
prints two indexes
So
and
the
return
answer to your question is in line 23. You see, what we are doing is that if I print it here, then you will get have a clearer idea that if I print this uh, num s for you, then you will get an idea what is happening here. You see, in this case, since we are converting it into a set, and remember, a set cannot have multiple occurrences. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are remaining. All the duplicates has been removed. Fine.
yes sir.
Okay. Okay. Any questions?
And
Remember,
the
yeah.
sequence in which this list is formed will it be the same as a string?
Uh, Not necessarily, but generally you will find that in this case, actually, after creating the set, we are not doing any other operation. So you will get the same sequence. And ideally, you will get the sequence in ascending order of the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, like that.
Okay sir.
Not necessarily as string, but necess- uh, generally in the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, like in ascending order
Yes
of.
sir, because if the sequence changes then output will also change, so
Uh,
that's
in in the question, you see it is not written uh, it is not necessary to be in the same order.
yes sir, but if it is in assignment question it will definitely show a wrong answer.
Yes. Okay. Uh, and for getting in the same order, you can go for something like where you have what you say, you arrange it also. You can do that, or you can. In that case, you will have to then, if you are very sure that you want to go by the same sequence as string, then you will have to loop through the string and you will have to remove the redundancies. And then you cannot do it using this for loop. Then you will have to go with the while loop that we did in the previous class. Remember that when we were skipping two or three things, like undefined loop we were going for, right? You can go for that. Fine.
Yeah. How can we retain order of set? Something is there. I heard ordered set like that.
Or set is a ordered data type. Ordered in the sense it will automatically arrange itself.
So no way,
Automatically arrange.
no way
No,
to
we can.
retain a order of elements.
Yeah, the sequence we cannot retain.
Okay.
That is not the property of set. And set is called as ordered data type, and in fact dictionary is also called. There the sequence is not necessarily same, but in case of dictionary, uh, it will depend on how you are like putting it, how you are putting it inside. In that sequence it generally goes, but in case of set, how you are putting or how you are removing, that will not define it. It will automatically take care of the arrangement.
Sir, I have a short problem.
Mhm.
Sir, means I was trying to do the sorting things in my machine, and so I'm just facing, means I have done something which is correct, which is working, but sir, it's not matching with what is, means what I am finding in many websites and all. So I would love to share my screen to show you, sir, if you
Okay.
allow me.
I, yeah, just a minute.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, see.
So that I'm sharing it. The
Yeah.
sorting, sir, sorting things. Um, here. So this is, I did insertion sort of numbers in ascending order. So in many websites I was finding that they are using something called KEY keys and all, but I didn't use anything like that. Sorry,
Mm.
can you please tell me, sir, if it is okay or not?
There were list elements one by one. Okay. For I in range, size, append, input. Okay. Fine. And input. Okay. Print original list. A list. Print copy. A2. Okay. For I in range, range 1 to length of A. While x is greater than 0. So, okay, you are starting with x equals to I. Okay, you are decreasing gradually with 7 0. Okay. So, what is happening in this case?
So actually means whatever, whenever I'm running this, so program is working fine. There is no problem. But sir, means there is something, means in the insertion sort algorithm which I'm finding in the website, so things are not same. Means they have written it in some different order. So does it really matter? Means the order really does matter. So in those, means websites and all, I saw that there is something called, they're using keys, KEYS keys, and that for, means shifting the element one element backward, then again taking it one element forward, and such way
So
that process is going on.
they in that case they must be using dictionary. And remember, in with dictionary we have things like keys and values. So they are using dictionary for that. That is why that keys is used.
So if I enter four elements like this randomly, 12 and
Mhm.
25, if I enter, then sir, if you find, sir, it is working fine. So you can look at this. The program is otherwise
Mhm.
working fine. Enter the size
Mhm.
of the list is 4, and enter the list elements. I've entered 4 elements. And then, so this is the original list. I have created a copy, and then, sir, this is the copied list. These are all the passes, means all the after each pass, whatever is happening, I am printing everything so that the user understands what is happening. And then, sir,
Mhm.
this is the final list. And this is, sir, just for checking. Means, so after
Yes.
I did the original
Yeah.
thing, this one is for
Mm.
checking whether I'm doing the right thing or not.
Yes. So this is fine, not an issue. The what is the
Is this
order
insertion
is.
sort? My question is that, sir, is this insertion sort or this is something else?
This is same, not an issue. No, no problem.
Same. Okay, sir. Okay, so that was my confusion. And the same goes for the selection sort as well. So selection sort, this is also means I have done it a bit different from what the websites have written the algorithms. They have written
Mhm.
that they have extracted the means smallest integer and inside a for loop, and then they have run the loop from the second element till the last element of the range, and they have extracted the minimum maximum element for ascending descending, and then
Mhm.
they have swapped with the element which is present. But sir, I have done something else. So if you can see that I have means actually run the loop from the second element till the nth element, and then sir, if means the element is found lesser, then it is directly replaced. So is this a major issue? Means
No,
I know
not
that
an.
program is correct.
Yeah, the same thing can be done with a lot of ways. It is up to you, like how efficiently the code is. In the sense, when you are like when you see the code, is it very easy to make this code or that code? And that is all up to you. Method, like there can be different ways to do the same thing, but to do it efficiently, you can try like different things, and you will automatically, once you go with it further, you will be able to understand what is happening.
That means that it is okay, right, sir?
Yeah, it is okay, not an issue with that. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Then I am relieved. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
I am
thank
stopping with the sharing then, sir.
you. Yeah, sure. Okay, so thank you all. See you all in the next class.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Your
Good
It
night.
was a
comments
very
help us.
informative session, sir.
Your comments help us in our study.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.